All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well, staying warm with this little bit of snow that we are having. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Amanda DeMarco. I am the Market Center Tech Trainer here in the Rutherford office. And today, what we are going to be focusing on is creating digital sign-in sheets for your open houses. So this includes landing pages within Command and QR codes. So there's a lot of really good benefits to using a digital sign-in sheet. First and foremost, how many of you guys have ever done pen and paper sign-in sheets, and at the end of the day, you take a look at that paper and you have no idea if that person wrote down a B or a D or an M or an N, or if it's a 4 or an 8, it's a lot of the times people don't have the nicest handwriting when they're in a rush and trying to get everything down. So we want to, make sure that all those spelling mistakes disappear. If someone's typing in their information, they're going to see if there's an error, they're going to be able to fix it. So it guarantees that you have all the proper information for the people attending your open house. Additionally, how many of you guys have taken that pen and paper sign-in sheet and then had to manually add all those people into your database? I'm sure we've all been there, and that's not fun. So by having a digital sign-in sheet, this will also save you from having to manually add in all of that information within your database. When you set up the landing page through Command, anyone who fills out the form will automatically be added into your database. So let's get started. Before we dive into how to create the landing page, I just want to give you guys a little overview of the consumer area within Command. So that is the very last applet on the bottom for consumer. Again, anytime you press on this red KW, it's going to open up all of these little icons so we can see exactly what they mean. So all the way on the bottom, consumer is for our website and mobile app. Now at the top here, excuse me, you are going to see that there are two different types of pages that we can edit and also create. And they are agent site pages and landing pages. What's the difference between the two? An agent site page is something that will live on your website. And this is something that I like to call evergreen content, meaning it's always going to be relevant. So these are going to be pages that include information about yourself, about the office, testimonials, a mortgage calculator, finding your home value. Essentially, anything that you want your clients and potential clients to be able to find at any point in time. And by creating an agent site page, you can have that living on your website. Now, a landing page is a little bit different. A landing page is not going to be linked back to your main website. And with your landing page, this is what you want to use for anything that's not going to be available or relevant forever, such as any listing you have or an open house. Nothing worse would, there could be worse things, but you don't want someone to be on your website and find a landing page for an open house that happened 3 months ago. That just wouldn't be the best. Here's what a landing page can look like. And I'll show you how to build this. But essentially, you can create a header and you have this sign-in sheet here. And then you can plug in a widget that will take all the information for that listing. So it creates a really easy one-page review of that property that anyone attending that open house or anyone interested in that property can share and read. So when we're in Command, in the consumer section, we have the create new page button all the way on the right-hand side. When I click on that, it asks me what type of page I want to create. So again, an agent site page is creating a new subpage on your website. A landing page is a standalone page primarily for lead generation, but also, like I mentioned, for anything that's not going to be relevant for an extended period of time. So I'm going to select landing page and then click on create page. And it is now going to bring me to the page builder. We're going to notice a couple of things. Right up at the top, we see the name of our page as it was created, new landing page template, and then a bunch of letters and numbers on the end. I recommend changing this right off the bat so we never forget what this page is for. When we are in the command dashboard and we're looking at all of our different landing pages, this is going to be that title that lets us know what this page is about. So I'm going to change this to, I'm just going to make it 123 Main Street Open House for right now. And I'm also going to add in the date. Just for my personal record, so I know when these pages were created. What I'm then going to do is start to build my page using these widgets on the side. Now you're going to see that there are 10 different widgets that we can choose from. I'm going to show you which 3 I use when building a digital sign-in sheet. First and foremost, I always love putting the branded header right at the very top of the page. Why do I like to do that? Since this landing page is not going to be tied back to my website, someone is able to look at this from the very top and see who the agent is. And they're also going to see the contact information, including name and phone number. The next widget I'm going to bring in is the lead form. After that, I'm going to bring in the listing widget, and I'm going to put that at the bottom. That's part 1 of building this page. That's simply adding the widgets in place. And in order to customize them and make them reflect the proper information, we're going to click on this Configure Widgets button all the way on the bottom right corner. We are then going to see the 3 widgets that we have. It's telling us right now that these first 2 widgets are good to go, but you still can go in and add some additional changes to them. I actually should have done this first. Let me actually find a real listing here. That way I can use an example. And the Lewis Park view is perfect. Since the caucus, that's A-okay. So this is courtesy of Agnes. This is her listing here. I'm actually going to change a little bit here. I'm going to take that property address and go back into my widget builder here. Now, since I know the real property address, I'm going to just replace that in my headline for my title of my page. Now I'm going to start to configure my widgets. So even though these first 2 have these green check marks, I can still click on that widget and then I can make any edits that I'd like. The one that I want to point out is this header text right here, and that's going to fill in a title on your page. So this is where you can write something along the lines of 241 Maple Street, sign-in sheet, something like that. You are limited to 30 characters, so you do have to be a little bit creative. If you have a longer property address, you can always write open house sign-in sheet. Now, all of this information is pulled from our marketing profile. If you do need to change anything, you can, but it should be good to go. I'm now going to click on Save and Apply. Now we see that my title shows up right at the top. I'm then going to click on this arrow button towards the upper right corner, and that's going to bring us to the second widget, which is the lead form. Now, just so everyone knows, with this lead form, we can't customize the fields in the form. I'm hoping that one day we do have the ability to do this, but for right now, we are stuck, for lack of a better word, with the form that we have existing. But this will capture a client or prospective client's name, email, phone number, and there is a spot for the client to leave a note. Now, just so everyone knows, in order to be able to fill out and submit this page, you do have to have something in that leave a note field. And this is where I would incorporate changing this header text here to say something along the lines of, fill out the form below to attend 241 Maple Street open house. Please include name of realtor, or please include the name of your realtor, or put none if you do not currently have a real estate agent. Clearly, I'm not limited on my characters here like I was on the previous widget. I'm gonna click on save and apply. So now we see that this has changed that header text, and now I have a more straightforward set of instructions for our clients. I want them to fill out the form below in order to attend the open house. Please include the name of your realtor or put none if you do not currently have a real estate agent. And I can go ahead and fix this and perhaps say, in the leave a note section, so I just did a little revision. In the leave a note section, please include the name of your realtor or put none if you do not currently have a real estate agent. So I'm giving, even more clear instructions to let the attendees know that I'm gonna want the name of the realtor that they're working with. Why is this important? Well, again, I'm not a licensed realtor myself, but I know that anyone who comes to an open house that's not currently working with a realtor, that's a lead for you guys. So we want to know right off the bat if the people attending the open house are already working with an agent or if they are on their own and they haven't already connected with someone. Now, this is just my suggestion. You are free to do whatever you want with this leave a note form. I would highly recommend including those instructions in the header text. That way your clients will know what to do. But if you want them to include, where they live, anything like that, you can put those instructions right on the top there. I'm now going to go to the final widget, which is the easiest one, and actually it's truly my favorite.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I clicked save and it didn't replace leave a note with.
It's not going to replace the leave a note.
Oh, it's not.
That will stay here. It's only going to change the header text on the top of this widget.
Okay, got it.
So that's why I'd even gone back and made that correction in the leave a note section. I didn't originally put that in there. But then when I reread it, I said, well, I'm going to tell people where to put this information. It's always good to give people more information than they need. Not everyone's as smart as we are, so sometimes everyone needs a little bit more guidance to say, no, here's where you put that information.
Mhm.
So because we don't have the ability to make the change to the form ourselves, that's why I suggest having that information in that header text.
That's awesome. I like that.
So now in this listing widget here, it's always going to default to this beautiful looking pretend property. But all we need to do is come over to the right and click on browse listings. So I'm going to type in that property address I was just working with. In Secaucus. Here we go. I'm going to take it from, it doesn't matter, it's just, this is Hudson County, this is NJMLS. I'll use NJMLS for no particular reason. But as soon as I click on select, we then see the listing information appears within the widget area. So I've selected my listing and now I can choose my header image here. So maybe I want it to be the picture of the front door. I can then click on save and apply and we'll see this widget transform to reflect all of the information for 241 Maple Street. So boom, right there. That header picture has changed. It's now reflecting the proper address, the cost, the property is active. It goes a step further by plugging in all of this information for us. How many bedrooms and bathrooms? The property description. All of the photos from the listing will be able to be displayed in this carousel here. It also includes some additional details and features and even this great map at the bottom. So if anyone wanted to figure out how to get there, they could. Now, some of these features you may think, I don't need this if someone's already at the open house, such as the map. If they're already there, why do I need it? You don't have to quote unquote limit yourself to using these landing pages simply for open houses. You can also use them to promote different properties. So if you wanted to promote, a listing that you have or a rental property, You can always use these widgets and send them via email or use them in Facebook ads. That way people will see just a very nice, easy to use one pager where they can get all the information for this property. I'm gonna click on save and apply one more time. There we go. Beautiful. Now, just so you guys know, there are some additional widgets you can add. There is an agent branding. So if you wanted to include some additional information for yourself at the bottom of the page, you can. So include your contact info again. It could be a nice way to end the page. There's also a market snap section, a place to upload videos, testimonials, download my app. It's ultimately up to you guys, however you want to build these pages. My personal suggestion when we're talking about an open house sign up sheet is less is more. And again, this is only for the open house sign-in sheet. The clients are already at your property. They've already shown interest. They want to see it. You don't need to put in all this extra information, you know, such as a market snap or a video. They're already there. By simply just having the header with your information and the title of the page and this lead form, those are the two most important things. I like putting the listing widget on the bottom just to give the page some more depth and to give it some more, I mean, truly just color and things to look at. But this is the most important part of that page, and that's why I put that above the listing widget. Again, this is just my personal preference as a not licensed realtor. So this is just my advice from a tech perspective, but this is your system to do with it what you want. If you find that something else works better for you, by all means, don't let me stop you. But at this point in time, I feel pretty comfortable with this landing page. So I'm going to click on Publish Page right on the upper corner. Yes, update my page. Beautiful. So now it's taking me back to my command dashboard. And I'm going to come over into the landing pages widget. So here's that page I just created, 241 Maple Street open house, date created. Now you're also going to notice the URL here, and for every page, it's going to all start out very similarly. It will say pages.kw.com, whatever your name is, and then I believe this is either your KWU ID or some sort of agent code within command. So you'll see all of my pages have that same sequence of numbers. After that sequence of numbers, the URL is created with a bunch of random letters and numbers. But we can change this. If I click on these three dots, and let me open this up first so you can see it. So here's my URL here, where it's a bunch of just nonsense at the end. You can come in here, click on these three dots all the way on the right-hand side, and click on Change URL. This will allow you to change the back half. You're going to notice the custom URL will always start with, just as I mentioned, that phrasing, but you can use letters, numbers, and dashes. So here is where I would put 241 Maple Street open house, 241 Maple Street, whatever you want to do. And I'll click create. Now, when I click on that link, we're going to see it looks a lot nicer. Does this matter in the long run? Probably not. Is this a little thing that I picked up because I'm a tech person and I've noticed we can do this? Probably. So this is not an imperative step. If you forget this, if this is not worth it for you, if you look at this and you're like, this isn't going to do anything for me, that's no problem at all. If you want to change it, it's there for you. So now, let me close out of this one. Now we have our sign-in sheet here. So this is where someone can come and fill in their information. I believe I said this before, but there has to be something in the leave a note section in order to submit it. Even if it's just a space, that will count. But that's why I like to include the instructions of what to include in that leave a note section. So now I want to start, publicizing this
Kristen, how did you go back?
to which part?
Oh, okay, it goes back to the other one.
Yeah, so I opened up, I clicked on that URL and it opened up my open house sheet in a new tab. So that way I'm still able to go back and forth into command in my landing page.
Okay.
So now what I'm gonna do is create a QR code. Now, there are lots of ways to create QR codes. You can find a lot of different websites where you can create a QR code for free. Our Scott Leroy marketing service that we have available to us, they can create QR codes for us. If we send them the URL, they can create it. But I personally believe it's easier to do it right through the Google Chrome browser. So if you're using Internet Explorer, Firefox, anything like that, this won't work. You have to be using Google Chrome, but when you do, all you need to do is right click on your page and you're gonna see in the middle, create QR code for this page. I'm gonna click on that, boom, there's my QR code. It's as simple as that. Is that a dinosaur in the middle? Yes, it is. Is the dino the mascot for Google and Google Chrome? Yes, it is. Do I like the dino? I do. Does everyone like it? No, and I can understand that. So if you are a little more specific, you want everything to look a certain way, there's nothing wrong with that. Just know you may need to find another outlet for creating this QR code. If you're like me and you think it's cute and it gives it a little, a little zhuzh, by all means, use this little dino. As soon as we click on that create QR code and this pop-up comes up, I'm going to click on the download button. And this will then download a PNG of that barcode. So I can now take this QR code and I can put it on a piece of paper and tape it on the front door, or tape it on the fence and say, scan this QR code to sign up for today's open house. So that way you're making sure people have the form filled out before they even walk in. And I'm going to show you how we can create something like that within Command as well. Now this will be done in our designs area. There we go. I am going to click on Create Design. And I'm going to be choosing a print option because I want a full page flyer that I can display. Now, just so everyone knows, this is where we get a little bit of a creativity, and this is where we have to be a little slick. You don't have to use this option. If you want to use like Microsoft Word or even Canva and just put this QR code on a piece of paper and just scan this QR code to sign into the open house, that's fine. I'm just showing you a way where we can incorporate more of the tech and keep it branded and have it just look a little nicer. I'm going to come over to the templates. Actually, go under listings here, just so I can see all of the different open house options. We have the different sizes at the top, so I'm going to narrow this down by letter size. And here are all the different options I have to choose from. I actually like this one because it's very basic, and I know I'm going to tweak this to make it say something different. So I'll click on Use and wait patiently, as we always do in Command. Now, just like when we created that landing page, right off the bat, we changed the name of the file. We want to do the same thing. On this upper area, when I hover over it, we see it says rename design. You always want to do that because if you're using the same templates over and over, or just not changing the names in time, everything in your designs folder is going to be O2, OH, F. You're never going to know what anything is. So I always recommend coming in here and saying 31 Maple Street open house sign in sheet, and you can put the date, whatever you want. Here we go. So I'm going to close this because I only want this one page here. Now this says you're invited. I've got 2 pictures I can plug in. What I'm gonna do is click on this text box here. Actually, let me think this through. What I'm gonna do first is change this image to my QR code. How do I do that? I'm gonna come over to the images widget on the left. And we see I have some options. I have some stock photos, some workspace images that come with Command, my assets. So these are going to be anything that I have pre-programmed in my marketing profile and in my assets folder. But here I can add new images in. I can add them from Facebook, from Google, from Dropbox, or I can simply drag and drop or click on this box and choose an image from my computer. So I'm going to drag and drop this QR code. And now we see that my imported image is right here. I clicked on the image I want to replace. When I hover over that image, the QR code, we see the 2 circular arrows, see replace image. I'm going to click on that, and there we go. Now, I'm going to come back here and click the typewriter button. And I'm going to give them foolproof instructions. Scan QR code to sign in to today's open house. Save changes. That's massive, like I thought it would be. I'm going to change the size just a little bit for now. Widen it out. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. In this text box, I'm going to plug in the address. Oops. I gotta put the zip code is. Save changes. Now I can continue to make these changes. Maybe I don't need a secondary picture here. Originally, I thought maybe I'd include an interior shot, but again, someone's already at the front door. They're gonna see what this house looks like in just a second. I'm gonna delete this. I don't need the property details. I don't need the price. People are there, talk to the people, tell them how many bedrooms, tell them how many bathrooms, tell them the price and the taxes. And how close they are to the schools and all these other great facts about the town. Maybe I want to move this QR code and put it more in the middle. Maybe I do want to put a little bit of information here. Maybe I don't. It's completely up to you. You do want to make sure everything is still compliant. So for example, the logo, when you click on it, you should be able to come over to the assets area and see at least one logo here, the primary logo. So again, you can click on those, on that arrow and replace it there. Now, I click on it. Where is the used to be a button to remove the background. Where that button is. Well, I can send this backwards, because notice how this had the white text and it was covering this information here. Do you do that? So when I click on that image with the white background, I'm going to right click on it and hover over layer order and click on send backwards. And then the information will come up on top of it. I could have sworn there was a way to remove the background in here. It might be hidden somewhere, but that's okay. Then of course you want to come in here and change your information. You could put your headshot. You can make it look prettier than this. I agree that this, doesn't look as enticing, as inviting. I did this off the cuff right now. But if you wanted to come in here and add some elements or add images of the house or anything that you want to do, make it your own. I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the, great know-it-all of open house sign-in sheets. This is just some suggestions that I have for you guys. This is something a little bit more straightforward and to the point. You can always obviously make it more towards you and make it fun, make it colorful, make it black and white, whatever your style is, whatever you're trying to do, you can use that within here. From there, once everything is good to go, I'm gonna click on the download button right here. And here is where I can download this as either a PDF, PNG, etc. Once that's downloaded, I can then print that page and hang this on the front door or on the mailbox by the sidewalk or on the open house sign, put a balloon and anything like that. Or you could just simply have it when the people are walking in. Maybe you want to have a little table set up with some treats and a laptop or whatever, and then say, oh, please scan this and fill it out. You can do it with them to make sure that it's getting done. When we went to Luis Muniz's property last week, he had a great tip. Even though the heydays of COVID are gone and the open houses aren't like they used to be where it was only one at a time, you can still conduct an open house that way if you want. You don't have to let everyone in at once. You can have one family in at a time, two families in at a time. By sort of staggering the entrance of everyone as well, you can make it a point to ensure that everyone, or at least one person from each party, is scanning that QR code and filling out the form. That way you're capturing their information. Now, I also don't know if there's other forms that someone may need to fill out when visiting an open house, COVID waivers or CIS forms or anything like that. But if someone does have to fill out any other paperwork, you can just say it's part of it. Oh, just scan this, fill in your information really quickly. And that way, we'll be sure to have that record of you being here. Any questions about this process? How about anyone in Zoom land? We got any questions? If not, that's okay. One more thing I do want to show you guys really quickly is how we can incorporate tags with our open houses. When I come over into my contacts here, we're going to see some tags that I have associated with my very famous, very pretend database. And as I open up this menu of all the tags, we're going to see some examples I've created. 4 Prospect Street open house and the date. 6457 7th Street, 123 Main Street, 226, etc. My suggestion would be to create a tag for every open house that you're involved with, whether you're hosting, co-hosting, whatever the case may be. Anywhere where you're potentially getting leads, create that tag. This way, we can come in here and we can always customize the columns, or we can see, who's been recently active, who's been recently added. And we're going to be able to see based on this little check mark that it's from an agent site, like a lead page. Pretty sure if we sees agent site connection. That's what it is. We can go in here and say, all right, everyone that was added into my database today from that is going to be from the open house. I can go in and I can select all of those people, select a bulk action, and add a tag. Oops, 2023, not 2022. I'm going to create that tag. And here's my color. Want all my open houses to be purple. Great tag. And there we go. So now I've created the tag. I'm going to go in and find it. It's already been selected. I simply scroll down and click on Add Selected. So now we're going to see the first few people in my dashboard, in my contact list. 241 Maple, 241 Maple, they're all there. Now, why are these tags important? This is one way to easily find everyone who attended this open house at once. When I'm looking at my contacts, I can click on that tag And it's gonna then narrow down the list and just show me everyone with that tag. From these 4 people, I can do my outreach, whether it's that evening, the next day, the next week, have that follow-up. Send them a text, you can send them an email, you can give them a call. Is there anything else you need to know? I'm here to help, blah, blah, blah. Also think of this for the future. 241 Maple is off the market, it's sold, but you've got another property in the same town. You can reach out to all of these people and say, hi, you know, I know it's been a couple weeks, you attended 241 Maple Street open house. And that property is under contract, but guess what? I have blah, blah, blah in Secaucus coming up next week. I want to invite you to the open house. I want you to be one of the first ones to see it. That's gonna make these people feel special because you remember where you met them and why they got your contact information. And you're reaching out to them with important, useful information. You know, it's not just another, hey, that house is sold, but I can help you buy another house. Are you ready? What time do you want to meet? Let's go. But now you have something really good of value to offer to them. If you don't have something like another house, that doesn't mean that you can't still give them that follow-up. You can still give them that follow-up. And this would just be finding other pieces of information to provide. You know, I know you came to the open house, it's off the market, but I'd love to help you if you're not working with anyone. Have you gotten pre-approved in your mortgage? I can connect you with my mortgage rep. Have you had, you know, like I could do a buyer consultation with you to find out what you really like, anything like that. You guys are gonna know that more than I will, but always think about something else that you can have the conversation turn to, if that makes sense. So I always just like to show you guys how great those tags can be to help keep everything organized from the open houses you've attended. So just to recap really quickly, in the consumer section, you're going to create a landing page, and that's going to be using the widgets to include the form, listing widget, your header. From there, you're going to create the QR code from that page. Again, when you're using Google Chrome, you can simply right-click it and create that QR code. If you don't want the dyno, reach out to Scott Lori Marketing. We'll find another website online. And then you can go into the design section and make that flyer however you want, download it, print it, and display it at your open house. And then once that open house is completed, everyone who's attended, create and give them that tag. That way you have record of where they came from and a reference point for any outreach that you have. Any questions before we log off? How about you guys in Zoom? Everyone doing good? I'm gonna take that silence as a resounding yes. If you guys have any questions, if you need anything else along the way, as always, feel.
Oh, Amanda, I have a question. You tell the customize to, you know, but are you customized? You did the new one, but it's coming to the different color like the open house, the different color like the purple. When you customize one things, it's come the other customization same color, or we can choose the different.
For the tags that we assign the contact,
You know the label. You customize the label.
it's loading. These tags here,
Yes. You did the, you know, the today 24, the one. Yeah.
so if you, just so everyone knows, if you want to do any edits to your tags, when you go into your settings,
Mm-hmm.
you can go into command settings under contacts and contact tags. This is where you can come in and edit any existing tags that you've created. So you can come in and change the colors if you decide, you know, in a few months that you want to change your color scheme, you can do that. If you
Okay.
want to delete any tags, you can do that as well. And even if you
Okay.
just wanted to come here and create those tags, you can do that as well.
I understand. You know, is good for the some color, same thing, like you put the purple, the open house, all like this.
Yeah.
Yourself understand quickly, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not something that, you're gonna sit down and in 30 minutes, you're gonna have the perfect tag system created. This can take weeks, this can take months, just to figure out how you want to tag your contacts. And we're really talking about creating these smaller groups of our contacts to create better outreach and to have better better outreach. So, an idea that I had could be the type of client they are, that could be in the red, whether they're a buyer, seller, landlord, tenant in 2023 and 2024. Maybe you want all of the purple colors to be any open houses or properties they've shown interest in. Maybe you want the yellow color to be if they've been pre-approved, if they're pre-qualified, if they've done a buyer consult or a listing presentation. Maybe you want the blues to be about their family or the type of home. Are they looking for a 2-family? Are they downsizing? Do they have pets? Anything you want to keep track of, it's completely up to you. There's really no wrong or right way to do this. And like I said, it's not like you're gonna sit down and have this all perfect in a day. This will take time. And that's okay. It's not something that needs to be perfected right off the bat. And it is something that can be ever changing and ever improving. But that's a good question.
Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. Well, listen, gang, I am here. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll get this video up on YouTube soon. And we have a ton of really good classes coming in April. I'm really excited. So stay tuned and we'll see you all on Thursday for the team rally. Have a good day, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, Amanda.